Hello everybody, my name is Lily, and today I want to answer the question, is the Christkindl market worth your time? The rules are simple. I'll be rating the Christkindl market on 5 different categories, each rated 1 through 5. The categories for today are enjoyment, activities, shopping, food, and time value. With all that out of the way, I will see you guys after the Christkindl market. I am back. If you guys don't know what the Christkindl market is, it is a German marketplace that takes place in Chicago as well as Aurora. There are 3 different locations from November to December. I ended up going to one in Wrigleyville, which is smaller than the central Chicago location, but it was still a ton of fun. This year in 2025, the Chicago and Aurora locations were open from November 21st all the way up to December 24th, so right on Christmas Eve, and the one I went to, which is in Wrigleyville, is open slightly later, November 23rd to December 31st, and the hours do vary from location to location. The one I went to, it is Monday through Thursday, 3 to 9 p.m., Friday through Saturday, 11 a.m. to 10 p.m., and on Sunday, 11 a.m. to 7. As well as they also have special hours for specifically the holidays, like Thanksgiving, certain days in December, and of course Christmas and New Year's. This market was actually originally created to help boost trade partnerships between Germany and the US. The very first one opened in 1996, and it has been open ever since. In 1997 was where it ended up moving to its current location in the heart of Chicago, with other locations opening up later on. It is so much fun. This is actually my first year there. I had never heard about it until I'd come to college, and suddenly all of my new friends, who were not from Illinois, by the way, were asking me, are you going to be going to the Christkindl market this winter? And I was like, what the hell is that? But I do not regret it. I ended up getting the special 2025 mug, which did cost me $10, but that's okay, because I actually think it's really cute, and I'm never going to use this mug for anything because I don't drink anything like coffee. I might use it for hot chocolate, though, now that I think about it. But it is quite a small mug. But I do love it. It's also shaped like a little heart, which I adore. This was designed in Germany and of course made in China. Let's go ahead and get into the categories. The first one was enjoyment, which I ended up giving a 4. There was tons of stuff to look at. I really enjoyed just walking around in basically just circles, constantly just around and around and around looking at everything. It was a little bit cold though, and at times I felt like kind of bored. Not always, but there were definitely moments where I was like, I don't know what I'm supposed to do here, especially as a first timer and as a person who doesn't exactly go to a lot of different markets like this. I was like, what do I do? Turns out the answer is pretty simple. You shop. You shop and you take pictures, which brings me into activities, which I ended up giving a 3.5 out of 5. This one, Wrigleyville, had a couple more activities to do than I think the other locations. Specifically, there is a kid Christmas train, as well as ice skating. Now the ice skating, I'm not sure if you can bring your own ice skates. I don't think I saw anybody with their own ice skates. You might be able to, but actually getting into the ice skating rink in general is I think $7 or $8, and then skate rentals after that will charge you $17 to $18. So if you want to go and you don't have your own ice skates, you're spending way more than $20 for ice skating. But if you like ice skating, go right ahead. I did not try this. I don't know how to ice skate. I'm not ready to learn yet. Right there, but it did look like a ton of fun. There is of course shopping to do. There is ornaments. There is actually dog treats. There was actually a pretty good variety of stuff. I was thinking it would just be all ornaments, but a lot of it was just a lot of artisanal, handcrafted items. And of course, there is food, which was my favorite part. I ended up getting some truffles to try out for you guys today later on in the video, as you can see here. But I also tried out a whole bunch of other food, and in general, the food is delicious. There was such a nice variety, which I will be getting into later. Next up, the next category on my list is shopping, which I ended up giving a 4. And, well, I would have loved to give it a 5, and this is probably the part of the video where I'm a little bit nervous to make it. But not every booth felt homemade. A good majority of them did. A good majority of them, especially one I would like to highlight later, definitely was homemade. But there was a couple of booths, I'm not going to name them though, just in case I am in fact wrong, where I took one good look at it and I was like, is this a drop-shipped booth? And before people come at me with a whole bunch of anger, there's a couple different reasons why. And to highlight this, I want to point out another booth I did actually really love, which was the Unique Glass Ornaments booth. I loved that booth. Everything was so pretty and you can just tell the person behind in the actual stall loved all of the creations. And when you looked at each of them, including the ones that are meant to be duplicates, there's a whole bunch. There's like 5 of certain ones. Those duplicates. Not one of everything. But with each duplicate, there was always tiny little minor differences that just could make you tell that it was homemade. Nothing was ever the exact same. But then there was other booths I'd go to with particularly stuffed animals, and I would look at them, and there'd be a whole bunch of duplicates. And I did that in front of the booth. I turned over all of the different little groupings of certain stuffed animals, and I would take a look at the little design because some of them had extra little stuff on them, and it looked the exact same. And maybe, I don't know, maybe this person who crafted these, just maybe, they're really good at what they do. They've honed their craft for years, and they can make it look perfect on every single one. But I don't believe in that. These look machine crafted, as well as in another booth. On the label, it actually, I forget what country it said it was made in, but it was not made in the USA. I think it said made in Egypt. And this was not an Egypt booth, by the way. It was not at all. It was some other region, not Egypt in the slightest. But it's just things like that where I kind of had to knock it off points for the shopping, because obviously they're cool, but I'm at this place because I actually want to see handcrafted items from people who love what they do and not just dropshippers. Once again, I have no real proof these are dropshippers other than the items they had. If they had any duplicates of the item, they literally looked the exact same. There were no differences at all, which is something humans typically just can't do. So I'm kind of inclined to believe that, but once again, I have no proof, and the worst I can do is just give it knocked off a point because everything else was so fantastic. And now for the booth I do want to highlight, which was very clearly an actual real booth, was a booth called JL Vision, which they are localized in Bolingbrook, Illinois. And while I could go ahead and explain to you what they have, I would love it for you guys to hear it straight directly from them. Okay, go for it.
So these are our handmade ceramic graters. They're dishwasher safe, microwave safe. They're not going to hurt your fingers. You're going to catch all those juices and oils in there, unlike a garlic press. It does come with a garlic peeler. It takes off all that skin for you. Pinch, drop, and rub it back and forth. You're going to hear all that cracking noise. At home, you can throw about 4 or 5 in here and just roll it on your countertop. It's going to take off all that skin. Take your dish and rub it back and forth. It's not going to hurt your fingers, so you can go as low as you like. Get it all in there. Take a brush that it comes with also and scoop it on down. You can add some butter to this, stick it in the microwave, leave it in there for a tasty bread dip, or just throw it over your pasta, wherever you're using it for. You're going to catch all those juices and oils in there. I like adding some balsamic vinegar and stuff and leave it in there for a nice bread dip.
So yes, the booth here is called JL Vision. As you just saw, they have these amazing little plates. Each one is handcrafted that has a variety of uses for them. They have fantastic deals going on. If you are in the market, please give this booth a stop by, because it is very clear they are good at their job. I watched them give the same presentation to all different people, and each time I was like, this guy has it down. This is the booth. Love that booth. Fantastic guy. Thank you so much for letting me record you doing your little thing, and I hope people go out and they buy some of your items because they truly do look amazing and handcrafted. There were plenty of different items, and all of them looked perfectly unique from each other because, of course, they are actually handcrafted. That is something I can always appreciate. Some other booths I would really love to highlight for you guys now was Sweet Castle, which ended up being a gigantic tent with a whole bunch of different candies you could buy and other items from Germany. Biro Langos, I'm pretty sure I completely butchered that, with a whole variety of foods, specifically potato pancakes that I ended up eating. Puffy House, which had a bunch of delicious little sweet treats, and unique glass ornaments, who I talked about earlier, which were so pretty. I'd not buy anything from them, but oh, it was so pretty. Next up, let's talk about food. I ended up trying a couple different things, specifically potato pancakes and poffertjes, I think is how you pronounce them, which are just tiny little pancakes. I ended up getting the Santa's favorite, which has powdered sugar, Nutella, and strawberries, and oh, it was so good. That was easily my favorite thing I had. Plus, I also have these truffles right here, which I will now be trying for you. I ended up getting a couple. The truffles I ended up getting for today, from the $2.50 each, is the cupcake caramel truffle, the cookies and cream, or I think maybe coffee and cream truffle, the winter apple truffle, and the magic forest truffle. I think these might actually be switched. I don't exactly remember. Let's go ahead and start with what I do know, which is the caramel cupcake truffle. Okay. Okay, quick disclosure. I've never had truffle before. Wow, that is a rich taste. That is deliciously rich. That is really good. It's very chocolatey. I don't know if it's as caramelly as I was expecting, but very good. Next up, let's try the cookies and cream slash coffee and cream. I can't exactly remember the name. Definitely cookies and cream. No, I'm wrong. Official verdict? Definitely coffee and cream, which is what I thought in my head, but I had it written down cookies and cream. I think that's just because it's a very usual flavor I typically like, but definitely coffee and cream. Also good. I kind of liked the flavor of the coffee. I think it helped balance out the richness of the chocolate way more than the other one I tried so far. Big fan of this one, probably the most so far. Next up, let's try out this one, which I'm pretty sure is the Magic Forest one. I'm pretty sure this one is the winter apple. Definitely Magic Forest. But I think maybe I'm starting to hallucinate what apple tastes like. So I'm gonna go ahead and try this one and see if I am right or not. Cause I'm pretty sure. I don't remember. I don't remember which one's which. Oh, yeah. This is winter apple. This is winter apple. I have learned a couple things today. One, I need to be keeping better track of what is what. I've also learned that truffles are very rich in flavor, and I was not expecting that. It was good. It's definitely good. I don't always do the best with chocolates, but I really like these. If you're at the Christkindl market, also go ahead and give these a try. They're only $2.50 each. Just try one. Or, okay, finally, let's go ahead now and get into time value, which ended up getting a 5 out of me. This place is absolutely worth it. Admission is, of course, free. So it's just worth it. It's free. You can go in there, take some pictures, or you can do some shopping. It is perfect whether you want to be there for only a couple minutes or if you want to be there for a couple hours like I was. It is well worth its time. Finally, let's go ahead now and get into the totals. The Christkindl market ended up walking away with an average score of a 4.3 out of 5 and a total score of 21.5 out of 25, making this place definitely worth it. It ended up getting a perfect score in food and in time value, and ended up doing probably the worst in activities. But overall, this place is worth it. It is one of the best things to do during the Christmas time, I can safely say. I'm officially adding this to my schedule every year as Christmas things to do because the Christkindl market cannot be beat. It is perfect, especially if you're not old enough to be going out and doing Christmas bars. This is probably the next best thing. I'll be eating all of these after I'm done recording today. I love them all. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. I know I enjoyed making it. If you did, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you guys all next time. Bye!